Hey, it is Tara, your yoga bestie, and I've got a great class for you today. We do not use any props in particular, but if you have blocks available to you, I'm a big fan of having blocks there just in case because they're nice to have. We'll start out in any position that you like to begin, seated, child's pose, reclined, whatever is calling your name. And as you make your way into that space, feel free to settle in, maybe wiggling into it. And then we'll close our eyes as we start to tap into our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Taking this time to connect with our breath. It'll be our energy source throughout our practice. So as we inhale, feeling the space right below the navel start to lift. As it draws upward, feeling an expansion through the belly, the side body is the rib cage, and our breath draws all the way up to where it lifts the collarbones. And then on our exhalation, we're going to feel our belly button draw in towards the spine, allowing us to use all three parts of the lungs. Our Ujjayi breath is an audible breath, so you can hear a snoring light sound in the back of the throat, kind of like you're fogging up a mirror with your nose. And see if you can create a rhythm where you inhale to the count of 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, and then exhaling the same or maybe longer than that. Just kind of creating a rhythm for yourself, knowing that our breath fluctuates throughout the practice, but we want to make sure that we are breathing. We're not holding our breath or making it shallow. So anytime that your mind starts to wander, just check in with the breath, see what's going on. That's usually the culprit there. But while you're tuning into your breath, we've been talking about the chakras in my class, currently in the 7th chakra or the crown chakra. The crown chakra is all about spirituality, knowing that there's something bigger than ourselves. It's heavily tied to meditation. It's associated with the color violet or a bright white. And the affirmation that I'm offering up this week that goes along with our 7th chakra is, I let go of all worries and find inner peace. So you might inhale, I let go of all worries, and exhale and find inner peace. Or an easy way to remember it might be to inhale peace and exhale worries. That way, it's something that you can keep in mind throughout the practice, even when I'm not saying it, just in case that works for you, to giving yourself that little mantra. But with every inhale, can you imagine drawing in a calm white light through the crown of your head? And then with every exhale, feel tension leaving your body like smoke dissolving into the air, which is a great visual. Inhaling, I let go of all worries. Exhale and find inner peace. The only way to find inner peace is to let go of worries, because if it's clouding up your mind, your brain space, then it's time to figure out something else. So begin with the breath. The breath allows you to be present. And just by really focusing in on the breath, a lot of our worries go away, because we create a bigger situation a lot of times when we have all these little conversations in our head. So see if you can give yourself permission to just put that aside for now and focus in on the breath. And by the way, I'm talking to myself right now, not just you. Definitely talking to myself. But on our next inhale, let's find a nice full body stretch or any movement that feels good depending on what position you're in. And then we'll bring our hands together at our heart center in our Anjali Mudra, tucking our chin under as we set our intention for our practice today, which might be our affirmation of, I let go of all worries and find inner peace. Or maybe something else comes to mind that speaks to you. Please honor that. And we'll take a big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Let's make our way to a tabletop position, however you want to get there. And just find some movement as you come into this space, really spreading through the fingers nice and wide, checking in with your breath as you bring in movement. And then we're going to make some circles with our arm. I'm going to start out with my right arm. It doesn't matter, as we bring ourselves back. And then we'll go in the other direction. Nice. And then switch it out. Doesn't matter which way you go. We're going both directions. One is a little better than the other. I haven't decided. And then we'll switch it out. Getting into that shoulder. Yeah. And then we'll bring that hand down, finding our tabletop position, where we'll tuck our toes under, kind of sitting back into our heels. We'll make our way into our first down dog. So feel free to bicycle the legs out or find any movement that feels good to warm up in this first down dog of your practice. Walk our hands to the back of our mat, coming into our forward fold. So separate your feet at least hip distance apart. I like to do it a little bit wider than that. Anyway, reach for opposite elbows, bring the arms behind the back, or even walk your hands from side to side, just breathing space here. Feel free to bend your knees a lot, allowing your chest and your thighs to come closer towards one another. Keep shaking that head out. Big breath in. Exhale, let that go. And then we'll start to bring our feet in towards one another. We'll roll it all the way up to standing. As soon as our head lifts, let's reach those arms up and back. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Take a full breath in. Exhale. And then on our inhale, arms reach, gazes up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. And then as we exhale, plant the palms. We'll walk our hands all the way forward on my mat. As we come into our plank push-up position, taking a full breath in here. And then as we exhale, lower all the way onto your belly. We'll bring the tops of the feet into the mat. Hands are underneath the shoulders as we inhale, lifting up cobra pose. Exhale, we'll lower. We'll start to move through this at the pace of our breath. Feel free to change anything up, maybe coming onto your fingertips in a wide stance. Maybe starting to do some shoulder dips here. And then we'll bring ourselves all the way down. Hands are coming underneath the shoulders as we tuck those toes under. And we'll come into our down dog again. This time, let's lift up the right leg. We'll open up that hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling. Staying right here, we can make some circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. And then we'll inhale, straightening that leg. Exhale, knee draws to nose as we bring that foot all the way through. Coming into our runner's lunge, so we might have our blocks here. Bringing the floor closer to us as we shift forward and back. Just opening up into the back of the leg. Feel free to lower your back knee down at any point. Feel free to linger anywhere. Next time we shift it forward, push into the mat, and we're gonna bring that right leg across as we come into our fallen triangle pose. So left arm will reach up. You can stay here, maybe you find some movement like making some circles with the arm, bending and straightening the legs. Inhale, we reach it up. Exhale, bring your left hand to meet your right hand. And then we're pepping up the back leg. And as we do that, we're gonna face the back of our mat as we bring our leg all the way through, coming onto our seat. From here, go ahead and twist. So we're gonna either hug this knee in or use our elbow as leverage. Shoulders draw down as we lengthen. Exhale, belly button draws into spine as you go deeper into this twist. Full breath in. Exhale. And then we'll twist the other direction as we come to our regular plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lowering, maybe to a hover this time. And then we'll inhale into our cobra or maybe up dog if you're ready. And then we exhale, down dog. From that down dog, go ahead and lift up your left leg. And we'll soften our right knee here. As we gaze forward, let's do a little hop. So we're gonna keep our gaze forward the whole time as we hop forward and we hop back. So try to keep those arms really straight. Try to grip through the fingertips as you do so. Next time we hop it forward, lower that back foot down and come into an active pigeon. So bring that ankle over towards your left wrist. Active just means your back toes are tucked under, and we're gonna come on to our fingertips, lifting up through the chest as we inhale. Exhale, bringing it forward as the elbows come out to the sides. And just move through this at your pace. Next time that we shift it forward, hold it here, really sinking into that left side. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we're lifting up. Lean into your right side so you bring that back leg all the way forward. And maybe use your block as we're going to move into half moon. So we kind of move into it using some momentum as we lift up the right arm and leg, opening up to that other long edge of the mat. Big breath in here. On our exhale, soften that knee. Big step back, runner's lunge. So from this runner's lunge, go ahead and find your one-legged down dog. Open up that hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling. Stay or start to make your circles, going in one direction, going in the other direction. Inhale, we straighten. Exhale, knee draws to nose as we bring it all the way through. Finding our runner's lunge, maybe using our blocks as we see what's going on the left side. Next time we shift it forward, plant the palms, push into our fallen triangle pose, so leg goes across. Reaching that right arm up, we hold, or we can start to find some movement here. We inhale, reaching up. Exhale, we're doing that fun little maneuver where we bring the right hand to meet the left, pick up the back leg, we're going to swing it through so that you're facing the back of the mat. We do it, twist towards the left from here, so hugging that knee in or using our elbow as leverage. As shoulders draw down, we lengthen. Exhale, belly button draws into spine as we might go deeper into the twist. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we twist the other way, or we go over that right shoulder to come into our plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lowering, maybe to a hover. Inhaling into your cobra or your up dog. And we exhale, down dog. From our down dog, lift up the right leg. And we're moving into those fun hops again. So gaze is forward the whole time as we float forward. Back. Forward. Back. Next time you float it forward, bring your back foot down and then move into your active pigeon. Coming onto those fingertips, lifting up. Exhale, we hinge it forward. And just move through those at the pace of your breath. Next time you come forward, hold it here, kind of lean into that right side, breathing in space into that left side. Inhale. Exhale. And then lift up, lean into that left side, bring your back foot forward, moving into half moon. So maybe have that block there as you open up towards the other side, trying to flex through that left foot. Inhaling and exhaling. One more breath in. Exhale, soften that knee, big step back. We'll find our runner's lunge to our plank pose, taking that vinyasa or going right to down dog. From our down dog, big breath in. Exhale, softening the knees. We gaze forward as we walk or float. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse, reaching it up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant as we step or float it back. Option to take your vinyasa or go right from plank pose to your down dog. Big breath in. Exhale, softening the knees. We gaze forward as we step or float. Inhale. Exhale. Let's reverse. Bring it forward on the exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Hands plant as we make our way to our down dog. Big breath in. Exhale, soften those knees, gazing forward as we step or float. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, forward. One more, we'll reverse all the way up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant as we step or float it back. Making our way to down dog or any resting position of choice. Because that concludes our warm-up. How we doing? So, if you're like, that's the warm-up, all right? It's because I do two main sequences, call them peanut butter and jelly, because I teach a peanut butter and jelly method. So all that means is that we take a lot of those poses, or pretty much all of those poses from the warm-up and bring them into the two main sequences. Two main sequences are set up the same way. We do it 3 times. First time a little bit slower, maybe with some detours. Second and third time, more at breath pace, just repeating. And then we do the same thing for the second one. So that's peanut butter and that's jelly. And at the end, which is my favorite part of the practice, we bring these 2 sequences together for one long, delicious peanut butter and jelly sequence sandwich, which is delicious. And then we're done. So let's go ahead and start out in down dog. We will make our way there. And as we come into this space, really checking in with your breath and tapping into our affirmation, inhaling, I let go of all worries. Exhale and find inner peace. I let go of all worries and find inner peace. Okay, so we're lifting up that left leg. Right knee is gonna bend, and we're doing those hops 3 times. So we'll float it forward and float it back. Float it forward and back. Float it forward, and then we bring that back foot down so that we can come into our active pigeon. We're working in 3s today, so as we inhale, we lift. Exhale, we bring it forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Once more, we inhale. And exhale. And then we lift up, we shift it towards the right as we bring our left foot forward for our half moon. So everything's really familiar right now. Until next. So really flexing through that foot. Finding that ability to stack shoulder on top of shoulder here. Inhale. On our exhale, big bend in the knee. So we're going into those legs like we're in our crescent pose, but we're coming into arrow lunge, which means our torso is in that 45 degrees. And hands could be where they are on me right now at the hips. You could reach the arms forward. You could bring the arms behind the back or wherever you want them to be. So what's most important is that we're not gripping the mat with those toes. We're pushing away with the ball mound of that foot so we feel that energy directing upwards. Big breath in here. Exhale, reverse eagle. So you could have your hands on your hips or at heart center, or you could have your hands down or on blocks if you'd like. What's most important is that we're really bending both legs like we're squatting down. And so for the first time through, maybe find a detour here so we can take our left hand and reach for that right foot. So your right arm here as you bring your gaze forward. Just an option. Perfectly fine to stay here in this reverse eagle. Take one more breath in. As we exhale, step it back for sky archer. So like triangle legs, we're reaching for that left wrist as we lean it back. Breathing space in between each rib here. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, gaze towards your back of the mat. And we'll pivot our toes to the back as we come into a runner's twist. So left hand is down, right arm reaches up. Stay here, or maybe find your outer edges of your feet for your horizon lunge, or if you'd like to come into a side plank variation, all great options. One more breath in. And then on our exhale, right hand comes down. Right leg comes back as our one-legged down dog, and we're ready for our other side. So soften that left knee, bring your gaze forward, hop forward, and back. Forward, back, forward, and then bring that foot down as we come into our active pigeon. Inhale, we lift up to the chest. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then we lift and shift to the left, bringing that right foot forward as we come into our half moon. This time without my block. Flexing through the foot nice and strong. Inhaling. Exhale, step it back to arrow lunge. So find your arm variation. Maybe it's not the same as the first side. Maybe it is. Trying to lift up those toes so that you push the floor away. One more breath in. Exhale, coming into that reverse eagle. So squatting it down, finding your arm variation. Lots of different ones to choose from. Maybe finding that baby grasshopper. You want to lower that seat, having that left arm be like a chaturanga arm. Big breath in. Exhale, we step it back. Grounding down for that back foot for a sky archer. So we'll reach for the right wrist as we lean back. Inhale. And then as we exhale, gaze towards your back foot. Pivot to the front, finding your runner's twist or your horizon lunge or whatever else you might want to come into that's easily accessible from this space. Big breath in. Exhale, bring that hand down, and we'll start to pick up the pace on this. Left leg lifts, right knee bends, and we hop forward and back. Forward, back, forward, and then lower that back foot down, coming into our active pigeon. Inhale, lifting, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Lift. Lower, lift as we lean into the side, bringing that left foot forward as we come into our half moon. And then we step it back for arrow lunge. Inhale, exhale, coming into your reverse eagle. And then we step it back as we inhale, sky archer, reaching for that left wrist. Exhale, gaze to the back. Pivot to the back so that we inhale, runner's twist, or whatever version you like. And then we make our way to our one-legged down dog, softening that left knee. Gaze it forward as we float forward and back. Forward, back, forward. And then we bring that back foot down for active pigeon. Inhale, lifting, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, and then we lift, leaning into the side as we bring that back foot forward, coming into our half moon. Exhale, we step it back into our arrow lunge. Inhaling, exhale, reverse eagle. Inhale, step it back for sky archer. Exhale, gaze towards your back foot, pivoting to the front as we find our runner's twist, or whatever you like. And then we make our way back to our one-legged down dog. Softening that knee, we gaze forward as we float forward, back, forward, back, forward. And then moving into our active pigeon, we inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then we lift and shift. Bringing that left foot forward as we come into our half moon. Stepping it back for arrow lunge. Inhale. Exhale, reverse eagle. Inhale, step it back, sky archer. Exhale, gaze to the back and pivot so that we inhale our twist. All the way to our one-legged down dog where we soften the left knee. Hop it forward. Hop it back. Forward. Last one, forward, step it back, moving into your active pigeon. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Once more. And forward, we lean in. Right leg comes forward as we come into our half moon. Exhale, step it back. Inhaling into our arrow lunge. Exhale, reverse eagle. Inhale, sky archer. Exhale, gaze to the back. Pivot, runner's twist. And then we make our way to our down dog, however you like. Or whatever resting pose you want, because we are done with peanut butter. If you're feeling really tired, do less hops. Stay in pigeon longer. There's always a way you can do something different that feels better in your body. But now it's jelly time, which I'm excited about. I'm always excited about jelly, because that means we're halfway done, right? So we're gonna make our way into our forward fold at the front of our mat. And we'll just come into mountain pose. We'll just come to mountain pose, draw those shoulders up, back and down. Breathing into the side bodies. Maybe slowing down the breath if it really started to speed up. And as you come into this space, inhaling, I let go of all worries. Exhale and find inner peace. I let go of all worries and find inner peace. All right, it's jelly time. So inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. And we'll step our left foot back, coming into a runner's lunge, where we'll push in the mat and bring that leg across for our fallen triangle pose. Big inhale here. And then on our exhale, bring your left hand to meet your right hand. Pick up that back leg. Bring it all the way through to your seat. And then we twist towards the right. Full breath in. Exhale. And this is where we're different than the warm-up. So we twist the other way, but we're gonna come on to our left forearm for our forearm side plank, where we reach that right arm up. Exhale, thread it underneath the armpit. Inhale, we lift. Exhale. Inhale, lift. This time we come into this knot pose. So allowing our shoulders to stack onto each other. This is probably not comfortable. So we'll tuck our toes under. We can kind of shift forward, letting your head relax in the space that you find. I recommend palms facing up and feeling your belly in the mat as you inhale and exhale here. Take one more big breath in. Exhale. And then we lift up our head. We'll bring our left hand here. We'll bring our right hand here. Can kind of shimmy through. And then we'll find our way into our down dog. Big breath in here. Exhale, soften the knees as you gaze forward. We'll float or walk. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, forward. And then step the right foot back, coming into your runner's lunge. We immediately push to where we extend that left leg across the body for fallen triangle pose. Inhale. Exhale, bring that right hand down, pick up the back leg, and swing it through as we come onto our seat. And then we twist to the left. Full breath in. Exhale. We release, coming into that forearm side plank. Left arm will reach up. Exhale, reach underneath. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. When we reach underneath, we come onto our belly, coming into that knot pose. Bring your belly to the shoulders and back. Slowing down your breath. Two more fingers, but no more. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale. Step that head. We'll release ourselves from this pose. Maybe shimmying into those shoulders. And then let's start to pick up the pace on this. So we find our down dog. Bend the knees, gaze forward as we step or float. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, forward. Step the left foot back. Push into the mat as we inhale into our fallen triangle pose. Exhale, hand comes down as we bring that leg all the way through, facing the back. Big breath in our twist. Exhale, belly button to spine going deeper. And then we go the other direction, coming into our forearm side plank. Inhale, exhale, thread. Inhale, exhale, inhale. And we hold it here. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we'll release this for our down dog. Bending the knees, we gaze forward as we step or float. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, forward. Right foot steps back. We'll inhale into our fallen triangle pose, bring that left leg across. Exhale, right hand comes down as we weave that leg all the way through to our feet. And we twist towards the left. Big breath in. Exhale. We'll twist the other direction, coming into our forearm side plank. And then we thread. Inhale, exhale, thread. We thread, coming into our knot pose. Full breath in. Exhale. And then we release, coming into our down dog. Bend those knees, gaze forward, so step or float. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale. And then left foot steps back. We inhale, fallen triangle pose. Exhale, bring that hand down as we bring that leg through. We inhale into our twist. Exhale, going deeper. And then we face the other side for that forearm side plank as we inhale. Exhale, reach. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bring it underneath, coming onto the belly. Full breath in. Exhale. We'll let that go. Coming into our down dog. Inhale. Exhale, softening the knees as we gaze forward. We'll step or float. Big breath in. Exhale, step the right foot back for runners. Inhale, bring the leg across, fallen triangle pose. Exhale, hand comes down as we step that leg through. And then big breath in here. Exhale, twist. Face the other way as we come into that forearm side plank. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, bring it through. Coming onto our belly for that knot pose. We'll make our way to our down dog or any resting position of choice. How are we doing? It's my favorite part of the practice. It's peanut butter and jelly time, and we're going to bring these two sequences together one last time. Are we ready? Just say yes. There is no feeling of ready. There is only telling ourselves we're ready. So we're going to be starting out in down dog. But before you go there, get your drink of water, towel off, say a prayer, whatever you need. As we make our way into that space, I let go of all worries and find inner peace. I let go of all worries and find inner peace. Let's do this. Down dog. Down dog, left leg lifts, right knee bends. We hop it forward, back, forward, back, forward. And then we move into our active pigeon where we inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Then we lift, leaning into that side. We bring that back foot forward for our half moon. Exhale, step it back to inhale, arrow lunge. Exhale, coming into that reverse eagle. Inhale, stepping it back for sky archer. Exhale, gaze back. We'll pivot to the back for our runner's twist, or maybe moving into horizon lunge. And then we come into our runner's lunge, where we'll take that right leg across, fallen triangle pose. Left hand comes down, picking up the back leg, and we'll bring it all the way through. We twist to the right, full inhale. Exhale. And then we go the other direction for that forearm side plank. Right arm reaches. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. We bring it through and we take a full breath in. Exhale, let it go. Releasing for down dog because the first side is done. That's right. Right leg lifts. Soften the left knee. Float it forward. forward, back, forward, and then we set up for that active pigeon. Inhale, exhale. Last one. And then we lean in as we bring that back leg forward, coming into our half moon on the inhale. Exhale, step it back. Inhale, arrow lunge. Exhale, reverse eagle. Inhale, coming into our sky archer. Exhale, gaze to the back as we pivot. Inhale, runner's twist or horizon. Exhale, find that runners and bring the leg across. Inhale, fall in triangle pose. Exhale, bring that hand down. And we do our kick through. Twisting to the left for a full breath in. Exhale, and then go the other direction for forearm side plank. Left arm reaches. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bring it through. For the full breath in here. Exhale. We release. We can come on to our seat because you did it. Yay. Awesome. Find a comfortable seated position. We'll close out our practice with our alternate nostril breathing. So we can find our hang loose hands, closing the right nostril as we inhale in through the left. Close the left as you exhale out through the right. Inhale right. Close, exhale left. Inhale left. Close, exhale right. Just keep moving at this rhythm for as many rounds as you want. When you're ready, we'll just bring those hands to our knees, just breathing in and out through both nostrils, allowing us to feel that sense of clarity that comes from this breathing technique. And if there's anything else that you need from your practice, this is that time to do so. You're welcome to come into a seated position and stay here if that's what's most comfortable, or if you prefer child's pose or Shavasana, where you're reclined. All are great options, but we're just going to make our way into our final pose, letting all of the benefits of the practice sink in. So just allowing our breath to be soft and our body to be still. Taking up space on our mat, particularly if we're on our backs, because our practice is a reflection of our lives off the mat. So the idea is that if we take up space here, we take up space once we go out into the world. And have a moment of gratitude for showing up to your mat today, gratitude for the work you put in, and gratitude for this feeling that is all you. You made it happen. And just let your breath be soft and your body still. Shavasana. As always, you're welcome to stay in this space as long as you need. When you're ready, invite small movements. Maybe get a full body stretch, or whatever movement comes naturally from the space that you're in. We'll eventually all come to a seated position where we'll bring our hands together at our heart center in our Anjali Mudra, tucking our chin under. I let go of all worries and find inner peace. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's such an honor. And until next time, namaste.